Hey, it's Rusty from Burning Cereal. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to make one of my absolute favorites. It's the classic French dip sandwich. There's a place up in Los Angeles, been around since the 20s, called Philippe's. They make the best French dip sandwich. I'm going to try and recreate it here. I've made it a couple of times at home. It's always good. So let me show you how I make it. You try it out and let me know what you think. So the ingredients that we're going to be using today, obviously, roast beef. You can get it either from the deli. It's a little expensive to get it from the deli, or you can buy the prepackaged stuff, just a hair cheaper in some cases. Some French rolls, of course. Two different ways to make your au jus. One, you can just buy the package, throw some water, it's done. I don't like that. I prefer to make it with beef broth, a little bit of brown gravy, and some onion soup mix. The combination of those three is way better than those little packages, because God only knows what comes in that package. Here, I'll tell you what comes in the package. Maltodextrin? What the hell is that? Caramel color. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Throw some caramel color in there. Cottonseed oil. I've probably eaten that. I don't know what it is. Disodium inosonate? Yeah, I stepped in some of that the other day. I had to scrape it off my shoe with a stick. So don't use the package. Just make it this way. It's going to come out way better. So let's get all these ingredients going, make ourselves some lunch. Okay, so what we've got right now, I've got my pot. I've got my oven on broil, because once we assemble the sandwich, I'm going to want to put it into the broiler, throw a piece of cheese on top, put it into the broiler for just 3 or 4 minutes to melt the cheese, and then it'll be good to go. But before we do that, we've got to make our au jus. So in order to make our au jus, what we do is we start off with the beef broth. Just take the can of beef broth, pour it into your pot. Make sure that you've got a pot that's big enough to support the roast beef, because you're eventually going to take that mound of roast beef that you had earlier and drop it inside with this. So make sure that you've got a pot with enough depth to accommodate all the roast beef that you're putting in. So after the beef broth goes the brown gravy. The recipe usually calls for 10 ounces. I don't like to put 10 ounces in. I usually put about 3/4 of a jar in. So roughly 7 to 8 ounces I'll put in there. So about 3/4 of the jar. And then our French onion soup, just pour that envelope inside there. And what we want to do is we want to boil this. So we want to bring it to a boil while we're stirring. And then once we bring it to a boil, we'll go ahead and turn it down and put the roast beef in. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to stir this up, make sure that it's fully incorporated. And when it comes to a boil, we're going to take it off the heat. So you don't want to watch water boil, so we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Okay, so it's come up to a rolling boil, and what you want to do now is go ahead and turn off the heat completely. And what I normally do is just grab some roast beef and just start dropping it in. You don't want a big clump to go in, but you want to separate it a little bit. Have some larger pieces, some smaller pieces. And for the amount of sandwiches that you're going to make, you want to kind of have an idea of how much roast beef you're going to need. I don't have an idea of how much roast beef I'm going to need, because I don't know how many people I'm feeding right now, but I know we're feeding at least me. So I'll put at least enough in here for 2, possibly even 3, in case someone else gets hungry. Again, we've been eating all day, so I don't know who's going to eat and who's not going to eat. But just take pieces of the roast beef, drop it inside this au jus, and what you're going to do is you're going to let it sit for about 2 or 3 minutes, just soaking up the juices that are in here. And then we'll go ahead and assemble our sandwiches after that. So I'll be right back in about a minute. So the roast beef has been sitting in the au jus for about 2 or 3 minutes, And now it's time to go ahead and assemble all of the sandwiches. So take your bread, drain the beef off just a little bit, put it inside. And over at Philippe's, what they'll normally do is they'll dunk the bread in the au jus. As you can see, my pot isn't big enough for me to do that. So what I'll do is I'll just ladle some of the au jus over top, and it's just as good. It's not as authentic as Philippe's, but it's just as good. So that's one. Let's get a second one going. And you can put as much or as little of the beef on as you want. And it's all a matter of your liking. Me personally, I like a lot of roast beef on mine. And like I said, I don't know how many people are eating. I got 3 pieces of bread out, but I think I only put enough beef in here for 2 sandwiches. So it looks like only 2 of us are gonna get to eat today. So that's done. Now, the next thing that you can do is actually put a little bit of cheese on these. So I like Swiss, so I just take a piece of Swiss, put it over the top of each one, on each side. Little one there, little one there. Then I'm gonna pop this into the broiler for just probably 2 minutes, and then pull it out with the cheese all nice and melted. So we'll give that about 2 minutes, and we'll be back and show you what it looks like when it comes out. Okay, so it's been a couple of minutes. The cheese looks all nice and melted. Oh yeah, this came out really nice. So from here, what you can do, just fold it over. Hold it there for a second, let it sit. Just give it a little cut on its side. Oh, that looks really good. So let's go ahead and drop one of these on a plate real fast and have some lunch. So out of the oven, all sliced up and ready to try. Now, as you know, these are extremely messy, so if I get messy, just laugh at me. Dunk it in the au jus. That's good. That's really good. Got a nice bite from the au jus. I would probably cut back the gravy just a little bit, maybe go to half a jar, because I can really taste it in this, and I probably just put too much in there. But other than that, this is one hell of a lunch, and it keeps me from having to drive to Los Angeles. So again, please subscribe to our channel, visit our website, and put in some recipes that you want to see us make, and thanks for watching. That's freaking good. Hey, it's Rusty from Burning Cereal. Thanks for tuning in. Today, we're gonna make one of my favorites. Keep looking down, Rusty, because that helps when you look down. They like looking at your bald spot right there. Okay, so I was looking over some of the ingredients that are in these little packages. One of them is a beet powder in au jus. Beet powder. I don't know what that is. Let's see. Caramel color in here. You know what I find odd? This doesn't have any caramel color, although it does have soy lecithin. I don't know what that is. And disodium isonate. I don't know what that is either. What about this one? This one right here, the beef broth, caramel color. Roast beef, caramel color. Our onion soup, I'll play your little freaking game, caramel color. Bread, didn't look at the ingredients. Package is over there, I'm too lazy to look. It's probably got caramel color. This is cow. It's cow. No caramel color. That's the color of the inside of a cow. Probably a little bit more red, but that's the color of it. Well, let's put together our caramel color French dip sandwich, and I'll tell you how caramely it tastes.